Lake George Battlefield Moments, a production of Lake George Battlefield Park Alliance, preserving our area's incredible history. Here's the president of Lake George Battlefield Park Alliance, John Denuzzo.
Welcome to Lake George Battlefield Moments. Our guest today is Pat Niles, the co-chair of the Washington County 250 Committee and former president of the Washington County Historical Society. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Pat's been with us before, and I think the message now is much more concise in terms of what we're going to tell you about that's happening in Washington County coming up. First of all, what are the 250th anniversary activities you have coming up, Pat?
Well, we have the History Festival that we are running. We're also doing a program that's, we stole the title, Bells Across America. At this point, almost every community in Washington County will be ringing their bells on July 4th at 12 o'clock for 2 to 2.5 minutes in honor of the 250 years of the American government that has been going on. We have the end of the year, we have two major events. One is what we call, it used to be Schuylerville or Saratoga County calls it Surrender Day. We call it Victory Day. We are celebrating the surrender of Burgoyne, October 17th, and we're putting our own program on. We're having it at Victory View Vineyards, which overlooks the battlefield, overlooks Saratoga. We had about 5,000 men on the east side of the Hudson, and that was one of the major factors for Burgoyne's surrender on October 17th. The other event that we have is going to go on October 2nd and 3rd. It is Arnold's Navy Weekend. It will be in Whitehall. That's in honor of Arnold building the Navy in Whitehall, or Skeensboro at that time. We'll be talking about the Battle of Alcor Island as well. So those are two major events celebrating the 250th anniversary of America in Washington County.
Okay, now on the radio side, we talked about the County History Festival, which is coming up July 11th and 12th. Could you just expand on that? I mean, the hours, the location, and what kinds of activities are happening?
It will be at the Washington County Fairgrounds on July 11th and 12th. It will be from 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday till 8 o'clock at night on Saturday. On Sunday, it will be from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We have up on our website, the Washington County website, you look at tourism, we have a complete schedule of speakers. We have speakers that will speak from giving presentations from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. We have musical acts that will go from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night as well. We have exhibitors that will be showing their histories of the town historians and every historical organization in Washington County. We have Warren County there as well. We have some Saratoga County people there as well. We have demonstrations of colonial crafts. We have games for the kids. We have storytelling for the kids. We end up having pony rides for the kids, wagon rides for everyone. And we have a good amount of reenactors. We have pilgrims that will come in at that point. We also have Civil War reenactors, and we have American Revolutionary reenactors. We will have firings usually on every 2 hours. There'll be a demonstration by the American Revolution, 2nd Continental Artillery. The Charlotte County Militia will be there as well. We also have the Civil War groups that will be there. One will fire, they'll put their demonstration on, and the other group will put their demonstration on as well. It will be more than just that. It'll be exhibitions of camp life. We have groups coming in from Pennsylvania. Their tents will be set up for cooking and sewing, and they have a hospital tent as well. So all those things are things that we find are kind of interesting to people that come in.
Yeah, I mean, and it sounds like it's a lot more than the 250th anniversary. I mean, you have things like Civil War and other stages of Washington County's history that will be represented there. And I think that's a good thing, particularly for people who aren't oriented toward the revolution as the key thing. Is there any cost?
There is no cost. It is free. I mean, we do have some vendors that you want to buy something from, you can do that. But it's not very commercial at all. I mean, we do have food. We will have nonprofit groups are coming in. We have the 4-H there. The Masons from the area, Greenwich and Cambridge, will be there. The Lions Club will be there. We're trying to really make this as much about the community as possible. We're also trying to promote our history. We have maps that will be handed out with all the museums throughout Washington County. We have a anniversary book on the 250th and on this celebration that is free as well. But it gives a history of each one of the communities in Washington County and the other organizations, the historical organizations that'll be there as well.
Wow, there's a lot of variety, I think, in Washington County history. And, the one thing that's always impressed me about Washington County is just the geography. I mean, you go from Whitehall and Dresden, I think, way up north and all the way to the south. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just an extraordinarily wide and long county to deal with. So I think there's probably a lot of different enclaves, if you will, of pockets of things that happened at various times in history. Now, Solomon Northrop is a name not in the Revolution, but that name is a famous one. He had a lot to do with Washington County, correct?
He is. We have displays. We have a number of displays. We have one building that will be totally displays of Washington County history. And Solomon Northrop will be one of those displays. We also have a very strong abolitionist movement in Washington County. We also have a women's suffrage. Washington County was one of the leading counties in the nation for women's suffrage. The groups that came about that formed really from the grassroots up were really kind of a pride for this area. It's kind of died out. People don't realize how much went on here. And of course, we had Susan B. Anthony. I was given a tour for the Lake George Battlefield Alliance, and I remember we stopped at the old Fort House, and one of the members, we talked about the American Revolution. I said, and then, of course, this is where Solomon Northrop lived for several years. I remember the gentleman was floored by it. And then we went down the road to Moses Creek, which is an American retreat area. And lo and behold, there's a sign up there on Susan B. Anthony. So anywhere you turn on one of these roads, in these back roads in Washington County, you're going to find history. You made the point earlier, and you're absolutely correct. It has to do with the geography. I mean, Lake Champlain, Hudson Corridor, we're in the middle of that. And then the river power that we had, we went from being a warpath to an industrial area. We had some of the first mills in the nation, some of the first looms, the automated looms in the nation. We had people that went over, they should know, but they did. They went to England, they memorized the machines, and they brought them back. We had a strong industrial history in Greenwich. For instance, one of those first linen mills were there at that time. And of course, we will have talks, we will have demonstrations and exhibits on our political leaders. I mean, we've had some very strong political leaders came out of Washington County, one of them being Chester A. Arthur, one of the presidents of the United States. So we want to show that off as well.
Makes sense. Okay, so obviously the History Festival, July 11th and 12th, is the big event. And later in the year, you've talked of several that are happening in the early fall. Are there other events you'd like to just point out to us to put them on our calendars?
We're going to focus on those areas. The surrender or the Victory Day is turning into something very big. 2 sites. One is Victory View Vineyards. Be part of that. It's a 2-part area. Tyashoke, which is a farm museum. It'll be almost a day, an afternoon and evening program. And that's as much as we're focused right now. We are looking at doing some fundraisers as well towards the end of the year. Our next year, we're looking at doing an educational program of bringing artillery to each spot that Burgoyne was in Washington County, calling it Burgoyne's moving classroom. But we're still working on that at this point.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Burgoyne spent so much time at Washington County, during the unsuccessful campaign to take Albany, which obviously was halted at Saratoga. But he was in Washington County for, a couple of months and trying to get things going? Yeah,
he was there for almost 11 weeks. He made a number of major decisions there that really affected him when he got to the battle. And so, we play that. I mean, we'll do something with the bomb trail. We have somebody walking across Washington County, reenactors for Charlotte County. They've been working on that, and they will do a 2-day march because the Charlotte County Militia did go to the battles of Bennington, and they will be going through some of the communities of Salem, Cambridge, White Creek, into Hoosick Falls, and then eventually into Bennington, where they'll meet up with their festivities, the Bennington battlefield festivities as well.
Wow, sounds like a lot will be happening in 2027. So this is kind of like a warm-up. Do you think there'll be a history festival in 2027 as well?
No, I think if we can get through this year, we'll be happy with that. But to be honest with you, we are going to try to do some type of an encampment to celebrate the British and the Americans being at certain parts. I mean, we will have Fort Anne is going to have a major celebration. They do their Turning Point Parade. I guess it's called the same thing in Saratoga. They have a major celebration going on. We will do something in Fort Edward because they occupied Fort Edward for so long. That will be around as well. We will have, I already started working on getting speakers to come in for that. So it'll be a combination encampment, very much like what we're doing up at in Whitehall, where we have the tour. Our good friend Bruce Venter is putting the tour on for us October 2nd, which will be a tour to Valcourt Island. And he's got some very good people. Chris Sabeck of the Maritime Museum and Jim Nelson will be leading that. And then both of those will be speakers for us the next day in Whitehall. We're going to do the same type of a thing in Fort Edward. We've already talked to Dr. Stati, Paul Stati, who wrote the book, The Killing of Jane McCrae, and we will bring in other speakers as well that focus on Burgoyne's stay in Fort Edward.
Wow. Okay, so a lot going on this year and next.
Yeah, we hope to have folks come in. It's a free event. It will really celebrate Washington County, but the region as well. There's a lot of different activities. There'll be things there that you haven't seen before. And so don't miss it. We'll see you on the 11th or the 12th, or both days.
More information on the Washington County Tourism website. The Alliance's website is lakegeorgebattlefield.org. Pat Niles, thanks for joining us today.
John, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, and thank you for being a part of our history, folks.
Lake George Battlefield Moments, a production of Lake George Battlefield Park Alliance, preserving our area's incredible history. For more information or to check out the latest podcast, go to lakegeorgebattlefield.org and listen live on Saturday mornings to Lake George Battlefield Moments on 93.5 Lake FM.